Good day and welcome to this episode of Eye on OR Tambo SEZ. This series places the Special Economic Zone under the microscope to discover the different sectors strategically used not only to attract investors but also to build an economic future for the next generation. A generation that strives to live off the greener and cleaner energy sources that they need to be maintaining and continuing to grow. Before I introduce our guests that will delve deeper into the green energy market and its potential to fulfill the youth unemployment challenge, take a look at this.
With the ever-growing reliance on energy needs, electricity has become an indispensable aspect of modern life. The global demand and strategy to move from fossil fuels to renewable energy opened the door for Africa to be in the center, to not only manufacture but export components used to construct mega projects reliant on energy components. Hydrogen energy relies on the manufacturing of hydrogen parts such as fuel cells and electrolyzer components. As part of the Gauteng Government strategy to increase economic activities and fill the need to manufacture these components, the OR Tambo SEZ opened a hydrogen arm and has already welcomed Isondo Precious Metals, a local high-tech fuel cell and electrolyzer component manufacturing facility. Attracting FDIs into this sector increases the feasibility of successfully implementing and expanding the manufacturing of fuel cells. Hosting potential FDIs like JETRO, the Japan External Trade Organization that actively looks to create beneficial trade and investment partners in the green energy sector, further supports the interest in the renewable landscape.
So JETRO's this delegation, 23 companies from Europe, Japan, and Middle East, and so on. They are looking for the potential business chance and research information in the future. But today, we will come to the Isondo. So they also looking for the business partner and the business chance. JETRO has a research about the hydrogen project in the South Africa. And they delegation member studied about the research level, and they want to see that place. That is why we will come.
Striving to reach net zero and to edge closer towards a green hydrogen ecosystem is of top mind, with the hope to shape the development of South Africa's green hydrogen ecosystem and maintaining efforts to decarbonize needs a strengthened private-public commitment.
Let's meet our guests who will help place the potential of this green market into perspective. I have with me in studio today Made Matika, the Chief Investment Officer of the OR Tambo SEZ. I also have joining me Witness Mukwana, Director of the Green Economy Gauteng Department of Economic Development. I have Dr. Rebecca Maseramula, Chief Director of the Hydrogen Energy at the Department of Science and Innovation. And then finally, I have Chris Heinemann, Chief Commercial Officer at Green E-Fuels Products. Now, this is where we need to start and begin with the journey that SEZ has taken. Made, you've moved into the next phase now, and that phase is focused on the response to climate change and renewable energy. How are you framing the solution, not only at SEZ, but as a blueprint for other organizations?
Thank you so much, Sanele. So you are quite right. We've moved to the next phase, and we're quite excited about that. As we move to the next phase, our intention is to play a more critical role in renewable energy, the green economy in particular. It's one of the sectors or industries that we are promoting for investment uptake. We already have an investor, and this is as part of our first phase that is focusing on the production of fuel cells that will support the hydrogen economy. But broadly speaking as well, in the other land parcels that we're now presently packaging for market interest is fuel cells. Our idea being that we will promote the production and export of fuel cells, fuel cell components and electrolyzers, because you need those components to support renewable energy, specifically green hydrogen. So that's really our key focus, but it goes beyond that. from a green economy perspective, what can the OR Tambo SEZ do to ensure that we can also, from a development perspective, respond to the challenges of carbon emission in the infrastructure build program, for instance? What do we do differently? What do we do differently from a waste management perspective? So it's multifaceted, but at its core is to say, how do we promote reindustrialization of Gauteng? How do we create opportunities for employment amongst the youth, which is really critical for South Africa at the moment?
Dr. Masaromule, if you could lean into how does it shift our focus on upskilling youth, on lifting up the scientific requirements that are required for all industries to play within the renewable space?
Both strategies that we have on hydrogen are focused on export as well as domestic consumption of hydrogen. And what's really exciting is that gives opportunities for jobs along the whole entire value chain. So we have blue collar, white collar jobs. So we actually need as many, I would say, graduates from universities as well as technical vocational education training colleges. And during COVID, actually in partnership with private sector and universities in Gauteng, we actually trained a cohort of unemployed graduates on hydrogen fuel cell technologies in terms of the operation and maintenance. And it was a really big deal because they actually were maintaining fuel cells that were powering field hospitals for COVID. So we were actually able, over a 6 to 8 week time period, to upskill unemployed graduates, and many of those graduates actually were absorbed into industry. So I would say that, Department of Science and Innovation, our focus mainly since 2007 was to create a pipeline for master's and PhD students. And over that time, we actually have graduated over 200 masters and PhDs in South Africa in the field cell space.
Gauteng is central to this, and it's critical because we are the most industrious part of the country. How is Gauteng's perspective on supporting this industry?
We are actually really pushing green industrialization because we feel and we realize that we are under pressure to decarbonize. We have grown our economies over the years, over the decades even, using fossil fuels. But now we are facing, especially internationally, our manufacturing sector, our export markets, they are facing a carbon border adjustment mechanism. That is to say that we're beginning to come under pressure to say that our products that have been entering other markets, are they green enough? Now we have to then replace our fossil fuels with cleaner, greener fuels. And for Gauteng, for the Gauteng province and for our industries, green hydrogen is a key factor or key component into that energy mix, because we have heavy industries, we have hard to abate sectors where some of them really you would really need hydrogen as a fuel, particularly with sectors such as steel, which are concentrated here, as well as transportation, cement. We really need to start moving towards that. That is really the unique value propositions that we feel that Gauteng province offers over and above the other provinces in terms of the hydrogen economy. We have a value proposition for domestic utilization of the hydrogen that will be produced here.
Chris, I'm so glad that you joined the conversation, because on the back of what Witness has said, you now need to have a look at how does the public sector and the private sector work together to solve for these challenges, and what have you found is working at present?
We see the energy transition in two levels. First of all, of course, we produce green electricity through whether wind or solar or maybe even hydropower. It's a huge opportunity, and as Witness mentioned, the commercialization strategy of South Africa shows the huge opportunity of the hydrogen industry. And the hydrogen industry is not only, as compared sometimes, the new gold for Joburg, because it's not an extractive industry. We have the opportunity to build a real industry with beneficiation in the country. And green hydrogen is basically represented through three derivatives, or three products that go into market, and that's the green ammonia, green methanol, and green aviation fuel. So that's why for Gauteng specifically, I think the methanol projects and sustainable aviation fuel with Gauteng and OR Tambo area and the airport really are a huge opportunity for Gauteng. And as we have technology in the methanol space, we looking at the production of green methanol in Gauteng and into clusters in different SEZs. So the SEZs are a really good platform for the investment. They are the aggregator as well for bulk users of energy, because they have the industry centralized in the SEZs. They need, and those industry in the future need green energy. So the SEZs have the mandate to be the aggregator of the green energy, but by transforming the green electricity into what we call the molecules, the three products that I mentioned, we have then again the opportunity to balance export opportunities and local opportunities.
Now that you're on to the next phase, you have a sense of the runway, of how long it takes to get to a point where product now starts to be exported, and what that looks like. Maybe give us an idea of where you are at and what's to come in the next couple of months.
So we are fortunate in the sense that our first phase already includes a fuel cell manufacturer, like has been indicated in the inset. So with that in mind, we're hoping that by the end of this year, we'll already start some form of exports through this particular investor to global markets. But as we move forward in our next phase, which is a different location, we're looking at least at between 18 to 24 months, obviously for the development phase, because it's SEZs, interestingly, always come with a double-edged sword, in the sense that there's this desire to get it done quickly, but it's a build program. So it's a long-term game. But with that long-term game comes long-term benefits. So we are hoping that we'll be able to unlock that particular location, and from that location enhance fuel cell localization, enhance electrolyzer localization, enhance the production of renewable energy. We have a very interesting project there where we'll be producing 27 megawatt of gas to electricity and 1 megawatt fuel cell, energy project. So we're quite excited about that as well, working with different partners and different players to ensure that that becomes a reality. Can you wrap up for me very quickly what is it that you hope to achieve in the same period of time? And Witness, over to you.
Yes, my hope for this new wave of green industrialization and green hydrogen is that we broaden economic benefits. We ensure that there is indeed just transition into the new energy sector, and to do that, we have to train, we have to ensure that our youth is trained and equipped for the new economy, but we also need to start to think about new ownership models, new economic models, so that we can include more people into this bigger economy.
We need to park this conversation here for now. Thank you so much to my guests for their valuable input for you, and I hope you enjoyed the conversation. Please stay with us as we continue the journey to discovering the ins and outs of the OR Tambo SEZ. Until next time, take care.